Good day, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to have a huge update on stimulus. A lot of states are sending stimulus payments at the state level, and some as high as $2,000. Now, in this video, we're going to go through every single state and cover whether or not your state is approving stimulus. Now, since I'm going to cover every single state in this country, it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 videos to go through each one, but in this video, I expect to go through maybe a third to about a half of the states. So this should be like a 3-part series, so stick around and make sure to watch the next couple of videos so you can see whether or not your state has approved stimulus. So let's discuss the details in this video, but before we do, please do me a huge favor, like this video, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I also have a second channel. On that channel, we do cover news updates on stimulus and on Social Security changes, but we also do things like play bingo, announce lottery winning numbers when the Powerball is drawn, and do things like play slot machine games and just have fun and kind of mix it in with news updates. So if you guys could do me a huge favor, click on the link that's in the description of this video, subscribe to my second channel. I'm going to be giving away a stimulus check over there just as a thank you for supporting my work. Okay, so stimulus checks at the state level. Before we jump into that, let's do a quick update on daily trending news. Now, Bill Clinton was recently released from the hospital this morning after suffering a urological infection which entered the bloodstream causing sepsis. Now, it seems he's on the mend and he's doing okay. There's a picture here with him and Hillary Clinton waving at the cameras, kind of signaling that he is on the mend and on the road to recovery. So good news for Bill Clinton. Now, whether you vote Democrat or Republican, guys, it's always bad when we see a former president either get really sick or pass away. So just good news in general, seeing Bill Clinton doing well. Now today, October 17th, is National Pasta Day. Now this kind of is blended in with Italian Heritage Day, but really it's National Pasta Day. Just a fun day to go ahead and make some pasta or go out to an Italian restaurant. And yeah, this is something I'm trying to share more on my channel, kind of what the day is. There's always some kind of quirky national day going on, and today is National Pasta Day. All right, guys, so with that said, let's jump right into stimulus. Quick recap on what's going on. Democrats are putting together the 2 stimulus packages, the physical stimulus plan and the American Family Stimulus Plan. Bernie Sanders is trying to include $1,000 stimulus checks in that plan. Then we have the Senior Citizens League, which is a powerful group in Congress that advocates for seniors, trying to actually increase that from $1,000 to $1,400 stimulus checks for seniors, just because inflation has been so high, and this larger stimulus check would help seniors account for that inflation. Now, we expect this would also extend to people on SSI and SSDI as well, but more updates to come on that as Congress continues to negotiate the details of this plan. Nancy Pelosi has set a deadline of October 31st, but with that being about 2 weeks away, we really don't think they're going to hit that deadline. A more realistic deadline is December 3rd. And that's because the debt ceiling crisis is set to happen again around December 3rd, because the solution that they made was just a temporary solution. The debt ceiling crisis is going to have to be addressed once again by December 3rd, and this is why we expect the stimulus package to happen before that. So as far as nationwide stimulus news goes, don't forget to subscribe. We should have a lot of updates this week because Congress is coming back from vacation this Tuesday, so we should have a lot of updates coming this week. And I know another vacation is something they don't deserve. Why do they need a vacation when it's taken them 6 months to just not even get this next stimulus package done, right? I understand it's frustrating, but with that said, Democrats continue to inch closer and closer to getting that stimulus package done. Now, as far as stimulus payments at the state level, this article is titled, 4th Stimulus Check Update, Checks Are Heading to These States. Whether you're in Arizona or Colorado, Indiana or Washington, we have you covered with this in-depth guide on the latest news concerning financial help being sent out on a state level amid the coronavirus crisis. Find out what economic help is on the way in your state with this stimulus check guide. Now, this goes in alphabetical order through every single state, so I won't be able to get through all of them in this video, but let's see how far we can get, and whatever I don't cover in this video, we'll make it into my next video. Okay, let's start with Alabama. So whether or not Alabama residents will receive another stimulus check is not completely clear, but the latest news out of the state is in regards to the funds that Governor Kay Ivey has signed into law that would pave the way for the state to start construction of new prisons. So basically, as of now, no state stimulus for Alabama. Now, Alaska. Alaska is approving more stimulus in the form of unemployment benefits. Now, residents in Alaska may qualify for additional money through the Federal State Extended Benefit Program, which could allow for another 13 to 20 weeks of weekly checks for those who are on unemployment. So Alaska is giving specific stimulus to those who are unemployed. Now, Arizona is actually doing the opposite. They're giving people stimulus checks to get off unemployment and go back to work. Now, this program is called the Back to Work Program and is offering a $1,000 stimulus check for unemployed people who accept a part-time job and a $2,000 stimulus check for anyone who goes off unemployment and receives a full-time job. So this is a really interesting program, and it's actually something that the federal government considered doing at the nationwide level. This is something they talked about for the last stimulus package, whether or not they should give people stimulus checks to go back to work. But then a lot of people thought that wasn't fair, because if you were already working, or if you were already on Social Security benefits and worked your entire life, but were currently retired, you wouldn't get the $2,000 stimulus check. Basically, these people who are unemployed were getting rewarded more than those who worked throughout the pandemic or worked their entire lives and were already retired. So kind of a controversial program, but let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Do you think it's a good idea to give people stimulus to go back to work, or do you think it's simply unfair to those who are already retired, like seniors on Social Security, and unfair to people who have been working this whole time? So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But in any case, Arizona is sending $1,000 stimulus checks to those who are going part-time and $2,000 stimulus checks to those who are going from unemployment to a full-time job. Now, Arkansas stimulus. So far, we don't have any reported stimulus for Arkansas. And actually, when it comes to stimulus, they actually cut off the unemployment stimulus early, and now they are being sued by residents of their states for that $300 per week stimulus, which was canceled a couple of months early. So if you're from Arkansas and your unemployment benefits were cut off, if they win this lawsuit, there's a chance you're actually going to get those weekly checks as back pay, but we'll have to wait and see how that kind of pans out. Now, California stimulus checks. California is the state that has approved the most stimulus checks overall. They've actually done 5 stimulus checks total, and they called the last 2 the Golden State stimulus checks. Now, the first one was for those who made between $30,000 and $75,000 per year, and this was a $500 or $600 check, as well as an additional $500 check if you had a child. Now, the next stimulus check was for those who made less than $30,000 per year. And both of these checks should have been sent out by now. So if you're from California, you should have received these additional stimulus checks. Now, one problem that I heard is if you're from California and you don't file taxes, for some reason you didn't qualify for this check, which really leaves out those who are on Social Security benefits. So that is an issue that Governor Newsom seemed to never address. So for those seniors in California, I'm really sorry, but it looks like you were left out from those stimulus checks in California. Now, Colorado stimulus. People who received at least one unemployment payment between March 15th of 2020 and October 24th of 2020 will receive an additional $375 in a stimulus check. However, those who have higher incomes, who qualified for more than $400 per week on unemployment, are not eligible for this extra stimulus payment. So basically, this is an extra stimulus check of $375 for those who are unemployed throughout the pandemic. So see, a lot of these states are doing extra stimulus for those who are unemployed. Now, look, I think those who are struggling and lost their jobs truly need the help. But then we have seniors who didn't get this weekly stimulus check. Not even a monthly stimulus check like President Biden promised, right? So I understand it's frustrating, but let's keep going and see what other stimulus checks have been approved at the state level. Now, Connecticut has something called the Back to Work Plan, which involves a provision of a $1,000 stimulus check to applicants who get back to work after 8 weeks off of unemployment. So basically, they have to work for 8 weeks. At the end of those 8 weeks after being off unemployment, they get a $1,000 stimulus check. Now, Delaware stimulus. One thing Delaware is doing is trying to help people get the last 3 stimulus checks who don't file taxes. Now, apparently there's over 30,000 people who live in Delaware who never got the stimulus checks that they should have because they don't normally file taxes, and they didn't really follow through on the process using the irs.gov portal to really kind of claim that stimulus check. So if you're from Delaware and you think you should have received one of the last 3 stimulus checks, go to irs.gov and make sure you claim one of your stimulus checks. Now, that's for Delaware. Now, Florida. Florida has approved a $1,000 stimulus check for teachers who worked throughout this pandemic. Now, Georgia did something similar and is doing a $1,000 stimulus check for full-timers and a $500 stimulus check for part-time teachers who worked throughout the pandemic as well. Now, Hawaii is kind of a weird situation because in Hawaii, lawmakers tried to do a $2,200 stimulus check for teachers specifically, but the governor of Hawaii, David Ige, actually canceled the stimulus check, saying that those lawmakers did not have the authority to instruct the Department of Education to use this federal stimulus money to approve stimulus checks for teachers. Now, that's kind of unfortunate because these people wanted to approve stimulus checks for teachers, and then the governor basically canceled those. So if you're a teacher in Hawaii, I'm really sorry about that, but that was something that was supposed to happen, but the governor went ahead and canceled it. So I see a lot of teachers getting stimulus checks at the state level. Now, Idaho stimulus, according to Boise, Idaho. Taxpayers in Idaho are going to get a one-time stimulus check in the next couple of months, and this is going to be a $50 stimulus check with an additional $50 for each dependent that you have. So this is kind of a smaller one, but if you live in Idaho and you pay taxes, you're going to get a $50 stimulus check, and if you have any dependents, you'll get an additional $50 for every single dependent that you have. So if you're in Idaho, you should be getting a small stimulus check in the next couple of months. Now, Illinois, as of now, does not have any additional stimulus checks coming at the state level, but they encourage residents to apply for rental assistance. There's millions of rental assistance money that still has not been claimed. So this goes for everybody in the nation. If you need rental assistance and you haven't received any yet, go ahead and talk to your local housing authority, and they should help you kind of figure out how to apply for this money and see if you qualify. Usually the best thing you can do is Google your county, whatever county you live in, and then also Google Housing Authority, and the website should come up. Then usually you're going to want to find a phone number and then call that number to help you apply over the phone, or use the website if you kind of prefer to use the website. But Illinois currently has no additional stimulus at the state level. Now, same thing with Indiana. We don't have any stimulus at the state level, and this is one of those states that actually ended unemployment benefits early as well. They ended that unemployment stimulus early. Now, they were actually sued by those who live in Indiana, and they won. So people in Indiana are going to be getting back paid stimulus payments if they were on unemployment and their benefits were cut off early. So if you're from Indiana and you were on unemployment, you should be getting back paid stimulus payments shortly. So Iowa does not have any stimulus at the state level either. So let's move on to Kansas. According to the IRS, the state of Kansas either refused, paid back, or failed to cash over $17 million in stimulus checks. That is 12,921 stimulus checks that were never cashed this past year. Now, there's currently no new information on whether Kansas will be offering further stimulus checks. So for some reason, when it comes to the first 3 rounds of stimulus checks, over $17 million in stimulus payments were not cashed from Kansas. So if you're from Kansas and you think you should have received one of those 3 stimulus checks, go to irs.gov and try to claim your stimulus payment. A lot of people didn't get their stimulus checks when they should have in Kansas for one reason or another. Now, Kentucky has announced that they're probably going to do an additional stimulus check, but nothing has formally been announced. Now, local reports suggest that a new stimulus check could be sent out in Kentucky due to a drastic rise in unemployment, although nothing concrete has yet been announced. So if you're from Kentucky, it looks like you should be getting another stimulus check soon, but we're waiting to see exactly what gets announced. And please subscribe if you're from Kentucky. I will keep you posted as soon as we get more updates. Okay, Louisiana stimulus. Unemployment has shot up in Louisiana, in part due to the recent Hurricane Ida, and calls for additional stimulus in this regard are mounting, yet no official word has been given in terms of amounts or payment dates for more stimulus. And this article says Louisiana will allocate $40 million in stimulus money to tackle the state's dismal reading problems. Now, again, this is another situation where Louisiana has announced, hey, we're going to be using $40 million to approve more stimulus payments, but we're still not sure exactly how we're going to do it or who is going to qualify. So if you're from Louisiana, it looks like more stimulus payments should be coming soon, but this is another state where I'm going to have to keep you updated as we get more details on that stimulus. So Louisiana, stimulus coming soon, but we'll have to wait and see exactly what it is. Now, as far as Maine does not appear to be planning another round of stimulus payments yet, so nothing on the fronts for Maine. So if you're from Maine, sorry about that, but currently there is no news of more stimulus at the state level from Maine. Okay guys, so that's going to do it for this video. We got almost halfway through every single state. We talked about stimulus payments at the state level, and the next video is going to cover the rest of the states that we didn't get to in this video, okay? So guys, please subscribe. Please watch the next video. I'm going to go through the rest of the states in this country, covering exactly which states are approving more stimulus and which states are planning on doing more stimulus but still have not officially announced it. Now, it looks like a lot of these stimulus payments are for teachers and for those who are unemployed or those who are unemployed and going back to work. It's pretty sad to see that none of these states are doing stimulus checks for seniors, at least so far on this list. And it's completely unacceptable, guys. I mean, like I always say it on this channel, the point of this channel is to be a voice for seniors and to be a voice for those who are disabled. For some reason, our leadership always forgets about our seniors and always forgets about our disabled and doesn't take care of these groups of people. But on the campaign trail, they make lots of promises, right? They promise to do monthly stimulus checks for Social Security. They promise to permanently increase Social Security benefits. But then once they're elected into office, it's like they either never get it done or it takes like 3 years to get it done when it should be done immediately. So guys, I know it's frustrating, and I know most of you that watch my channel are on Social Security benefits, and it's difficult to keep up with inflation. It's difficult to make your monthly payments as inflation continues to get worse. The COLA adjustments have been relatively small, and you're not making enough money like you should be after paying into the system your entire life. Now, this is why I'm here to be a voice for you, and this is why we won't quit until President Biden keeps his word and approves more stimulus for seniors and increases Social Security benefits as well. So guys, with that said, don't forget to subscribe. There are a lot of updates to come, and I will keep you posted on the next 2 stimulus packages, Social Security changes, and stimulus checks at the state level as well. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, take care and have a great day.